Yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video. I want to bring out a video that I've been rinsing and repeating and working out a lot, and I want to kind of give you guys the ability to do the same and make a lot of money. But you guys have to kind of listen a little bit so that I can explain it a little bit, and I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can. But basically, we're going to look at a stock that follows Bitcoin, and a lot of people already know what this stock is, but we're going to be talking about MSTR. So basically, it's been moving a decent amount. I'm going to give you guys kind of an example. We kind of had it recently when we seen it fall a little bit. We've seen it down to like 346, and you could have bought a little call option. You could have sold it at 370, but we're not talking about this one. We're going to be talking about what happened a few days ago where Bitcoin dumped a lot. I think we hit like 90K and this stock hit $300. And if you would have bought a call option, literally the next day we hit $350. That would have been a decent gain right there. And we're going to try and show you guys how to find these and to rinse and repeat. Okay, so we're going to be talking about it now. This is not going to be a day trade. This is going to be a swing trade. So maybe a couple days or a couple weeks, honestly. But honestly, mainly a couple of days, as you can see how it's been moving recently. It's been literally moving in a couple of days' time. But with that being said, you have to understand Bitcoin and watch Bitcoin a lot. And right now we're getting to that level where we can buy some puts, but you want to be very, very patient with this one. But right now we're currently at that 101K level. But if we look recently, like we hit 102 and we kind of fluctuated, and this was literally within like maybe less than a day where we hit that 102 and then we instantly dipped. So I want to kind of explain how to get into these plays, and it happened multiple times, but I'm going to kind of explain what is the easiest way to do. But look at it. Bitcoin moves fast and we see it move within a couple of days. So this is why you can get a decent amount out of these. Just like MSTR, we're moving up and down, fluctuating. And these are easy gains and returns because we get like $50 moves within weeks or within like a week. It makes you a lot of money. So now we're going to be talking about the buy levels and the sell levels. So basically, once Bitcoin breaks 100K and breaks a new high, basically MSTR goes up a bunch. Right now, I'm going to be telling you guys some levels to buy calls and levels to buy puts based on how everything's moving. But I recommend looking at both stocks, looking at MSTR and Bitcoin, and kind of combine them together and kind of look at how they're moving and have your own future predictions. But in my opinion, I want to see how Bitcoin moves and I want to see what it does with that 102K level. So once it hits 102, I want to see if it breaks above that. And if it breaks above that, we can just get a little bit more money out of MSTR. With that being said, we're gonna look at some option plays and basically things that I recommend you do. So basically, right now we're gonna look at that 380 level and see what happens with that 380 level. We did make lower highs, and I kind of estimated a lower high, but we might break that lower high and make a higher high. But with that being said, I recommend looking at the 380 level. And then if Bitcoin breaks above even more, we might see 390 to that 400 level. I recommend just watching it go up until Bitcoin kind of dies down or you get some bad news with the overall market to make Bitcoin go down. Though right now we're in that level where you should look into buying some puts and shorting this stock out. I do recommend buying at least 2 weeks, but you can buy a same week if you do it on a Monday. But we're going to be looking at some 2 weekers and maybe a 1 weeker. But with that being said, I'm going to be looking at that 380 level. So prices can vary on the options I show you because we're not really quite at that level yet. But I'm looking at the 380 level, the 390 level, and of course the 400 level. If Bitcoin can keep going up, we're just going to wait and have our patience in and see how Bitcoin moves. The only problem with Bitcoin is that Bitcoin kind of moves after hours a little bit more. So if you want to buy some option plays, it's kind of harder to kind of estimate and buy your option plays when market isn't open. But with that being said, just keep this in mind, the 380 level, 390, 400, and then we might even see above 400 to that 436 once again. And then I think at 436, I'll have a little bit of patience, but we might bounce off that 436 depending on how Bitcoin moves. But with that being said, let's look at some put options. So just watch these easy levels: 380, 390, 400, 410, 420. Just look at the levels by tens, and then we're going to go up to 430 and then look at that 436 and then 440, 450. I don't think we're going to get higher than that unless we basically break the all-time highs for Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. But let's get some option plays. We're going to be on Webull right now, but I do recommend using Robinhood or another application. I do have link in the description below for Robinhood. You can get some free stocks, so free money instantly. And if you use that Coinbase link, you have a chance to get one Bitcoin, which is right now worth $100,000. So you guys can do it if you want. But yeah, so we're gonna be looking at puts. You look at both, but we're just gonna be looking at puts, and we're gonna We're gonna look at the next week one because it is Friday. So it's basically 2 weeks, but it's Friday. So technically 1 week and 1 day. So we're gonna be looking at the 24th and then maybe some 31st ones too. But we're gonna look at the 24th first. That being said, let me get 30. So basically the ones that I recommend getting for this one, you don't want to buy it. So if we really think it's gonna go below that 380, or let's say estimated, right? I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Let's say estimated first. So let's say if we do get up to that 380 or even 390, or we just break these levels, right? And then we see a bounce. I think some plays that I'm gonna be doing is 360 to that 370 level. These are safe ones, like very safe, that you're going to probably most likely make your money back. But some unsafe ones, if you don't want to spend too much money, you get that 340 and maybe 330. I wouldn't go below 330 though. And if you're really down bad, maybe 310, but I wouldn't really. This one's is one I don't recommend, but we can look at all of them honestly. So with that being said, let's open up our options. So these are put options. So you don't want to be too much out of the money by expiration. So especially for the 1 weeker, I do not recommend getting the 310, the 320, and it might not even get the 330, but we can still look at it just to show y'all. So basically, oh, we got to print some more. Hold on. Get that 50 out. You feel me? So the 341 right now is trading at $820. But if we get up to higher levels like that 380 to that 390, these are going to be way cheaper. So you might be looking at $600 or maybe even 500. With that being said, you see $8.20, but you got to times it by 100, which would make it $820. So keep that in mind. But I recommend looking at that 340. This one is one 340 to the 350 are going to be two safe ones. The 351, if we get up to like 380 to 390, we might see this one at 800, especially if you get it towards the end of the day on Friday. But with that being said, don't buy option plays as soon as market opens. I recommend waiting 5 to 10 minutes after market open also. They're very expensive, but the same thing too. So if you do see your stock go up, I do recommend selling your option trade instantly as market opens, because there's going to be a lot of pending orders and they're going to be worth the most at the market open. Unless you see, Bitcoin still dumping, then you might as well just have patience. But that being said, some of the ones I recommend 340 and maybe that 350. And if you have more money, the 360 level to the 370 level would be more practical because you can make way more money with that. But some of the other ones for, the people not trying to spend too much, or if you want to load up some more, the 320 to the 310. I do not recommend the 310. I'm going to say that. But the 310 is a decent one if you don't have too much money. And just make sure that you get below that 310 level. But I honestly, I don't think we can see 310 by next week unless Bitcoin just absolutely dumps. So keep that in mind. But another one that I do kind of recommend is that 331, but just have your caution with this one. But if you want to buy multiple, I'd probably buy multiple of the 340. That's probably one of the safest ones you can do if you want to buy it cheaper, but buy multiple. But one thing that I realized is that, let's say if you do buy an option, right, and we want to buy, let's say we're looking at that 330, right, and it's worth 500 or 600. We can say 600 now, but then you look at this one, which is worth 1200, so double that basically. You're going to make more off of this one over time than you make on this one. So keep that in mind too. But at the same time, you want to make sure you look at these levels. And yeah, and basically every time you trade, especially day trading or even swing trading, have a plan on when you want to buy. So that's why I'm saying, like, my current plan is 380 and then see what happens on the 380 before I buy it. If I see a bounce and then like an instant bounce, like it's bouncing a lot and we don't see it rebounding, that's a good buy right there. But also, if it goes above that, we're going to wait. We're going to have more patience, maybe wait like 5, 10 more minutes, see what happens at that 390. If it hits that 390 and keep on showing a bullish trend, we're just going to have our patience throughout the day. And then if it still looks bullish at the end of the day, you don't have to make the trade that day and just wait overnight and buy it the next day. Always have patience and always have a plan. So just like that, like let's say if we got in at somehow 400 and it bounced off the 400 and we're going down and I want to make some profit, I think my sell for that plan would be probably like $30 maybe. So maybe at the 370, I'm gonna try to sell, but I'm also have patience in that one too, just like getting in. And if I see it break that, we're gonna have patience, honestly. But yeah, I made a play. I shorted this stock a couple days ago, or not a couple days ago, but I shorted it and I got out. So same thing. You can play it. You can play it right now on the downside, and then once you see a bottom. So let's say if you played this right, and then you're playing a short, and you see it bounce off that 380 level like it did, and you see it bounce, and then you get in, and then you might see this green candle right here for the day, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get out. So you got out 331. Then you can have patience and then see what happens the next couple of days. We're kind of fluctuating, or kind of like just neutral basically. But then you see a drop again, and you're like, oh my god. And you see a big green candle. You can probably buy a call right here because you're confident in Bitcoin, and then you can just sell your call maybe here, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 380, 390. But always have a plan for these trades. Don't get in too quick. Don't have FOMO. But yeah, that's my video for today. Sorry it was a bit long. I would really like to explain it more, but that's kind of what I got now. So thanks for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, join the Discord, and see you guys in the next one.